Eli and Sarah, the Cornfield Adventure, in the rolling hills of Ohio, where the sun rose over endless green fields and birds sang soft melodies, there was a quiet Amish farm owned by the Miller family. The farm was full of life, with animals grazing peacefully, a big red barn, and neat rows of crops stretching as far as the eye could see. Among the family were two siblings, Eli and Sarah, who were as inseparable as peas in a pod. Eli, 11 years old, was thoughtful and curious, always eager to learn about the land and the animals. Sarah, his younger sister at 9, was full of energy and ideas, with a knack for making every chore an adventure. Together, they shared a love for the farm, its animals, and especially the cornfield, which had been a Miller family tradition for generations. One chilly morning, as the first rays of sunlight painted the horizon, Eli and Sarah stood in the barn, huddled around their father, who was explaining the plan for the upcoming planting season. "This year's corn crop will be the most important one yet," their father said. "The soil is ready, but we need your help to prepare. It's going to take teamwork, patience, and a lot of effort." Eli and Sarah exchanged determined glances. They knew this was their chance to show they could handle the responsibility. "We'll do it, Papa," Sarah said, her eyes sparkling. "We'll make this the best cornfield ever." Their father smiled. "I have no doubt you will. But remember, the farm teaches us more than just how to grow crops. It teaches us to care, to listen, and to work together." The first task was preparing the soil. The siblings hitched their trusty draft horses, Molly and Duke, to the plow. Eli took the reins, guiding the horses as they pulled the plow through the earth, turning the soil and breaking it apart. "Steady, Molly. Easy, Duke," Eli called, his voice steady despite the effort. Sarah followed behind with a rake, smoothing the soil and clearing rocks. She hummed a cheerful tune, making the work feel lighter. "Eli, look," she suddenly exclaimed, holding up a wriggling earthworm. "The soil is healthy." Eli laughed. "Good job, Sarah. Healthy soil means healthy corn." As the day wore on, they worked tirelessly, stopping only for a quick lunch of homemade bread and apple slices. By evening, the field was ready, its dark, rich soil a promise of the crops to come. The next morning, as they were about to plant the seeds, a commotion broke out near the chicken coop. Sarah ran to investigate and found a tiny raccoon tangled in a discarded net. "Eli, come quick," she called. Eli arrived and knelt beside her. Poor thing. He must have wandered in looking for food. Together, they carefully untangled the raccoon, who squeaked in gratitude before scurrying back into the woods. Sarah smiled. "He'll tell all his raccoon friends that the Miller farm is a safe place." Eli chuckled. "Let's hope they don't all come back for our corn." Finally, it was time to plant the corn. Using an old-fashioned seed drill, they placed each kernel into the soil, ensuring the rows were straight and evenly spaced. Their father had taught them the importance of precision, and they took their tasks seriously. As they worked, a flock of birds gathered nearby, eyeing the seeds hungrily. "Shoo!" Sarah yelled, waving her arms. "Don't scare them too much," Eli said with a grin. "They're just hungry." Sarah grabbed a handful of sunflower seeds from her pocket and scattered them away from the cornfield. "Here you go, little guys. Eat this instead." The birds chirped happily and left the cornfield alone, much to the siblings' relief. Just as they finished planting, dark clouds rolled in, and the wind began to howl. "A storm's coming," Eli shouted. "We need to protect the young plants." Working quickly, they covered the freshly planted rows with straw to shield them from the rain and wind. Their parents joined in, and together, they braved the storm, securing the field against the elements. When the storm finally passed, the cornfield remained intact, its rows safe beneath the protective straw. "You two did an incredible job," their father said, his voice filled with pride. Weeks later, tiny green shoots began to emerge from the soil. Eli and Sarah beamed with pride as they walked through the rows, inspecting each plant. "Look at them grow," Sarah said, clapping her hands. Eli nodded. "It's all because we work together, just like Papa said." As the corn grew taller, the The siblings continued to care for it, watering the plants, pulling weeds, and chasing off the occasional hungry rabbit. By late summer, the cornfield was a sea of golden stalks swaying gently in the breeze. The whole family came together for the harvest, cutting the stalks and gathering the ears of corn. Eli and Sarah worked side by side, their faces glowing with satisfaction. "We did it," Eli said, wiping sweat from his brow. Sarah grinned. "We really did."